This is the TOSOT 24,000 BTU mini-split air conditioner. The indoor head looks like a long, low-profile white bar with a gentle curve across the face and a discrete temperature readout that can be turned off if you like a darker room. The air louver sweeps smoothly, pushing air across the space instead of blasting it in one spot. The outdoor condenser is a compact steel cabinet that feels substantial, around 123 pounds, with a solid fan shroud and dense coil protection that suggests durability rather than flimsy sheet metal. Key features that matter to me are pretty simple. This is a 24,000 BTU system, which equals about 2 tons of capacity. That's enough for a large living area, an apartment, a garage workshop, or an open concept main floor, depending on insulation and layout. The 22 SEER2 rating means it's very efficient. SEER2 is a standardized measure of how much cooling you get per unit of electricity across a typical season. Higher numbers mean lower power bills, and 22 is firmly in the high efficiency range. It runs on a variable speed inverter compressor, which ramps up and down instead of turning fully on and off. In plain terms, it holds a steady temperature, uses less power, and runs quieter. It's also a heat pump, so it cools in the summer and heats when it's cold. The spec sheet and my testing line up. Cooling in very hot weather is strong, and heating in cold snaps felt confident. Noise is excellent. The indoor unit is whisper quiet to the point where the soft whoosh of air is usually all I hear, and the outdoor unit is calm enough not to bother a neighbor's window. The Wi-Fi control is straightforward, the mobile app is simple to set up, and voice control with Alexa works as expected for basic on-off, mode, and temperature commands. From my experience living with it, I care about 3 things: temperature control, humidity control, and sound. This system nails those. It pulls the room down to temp faster than the window units I replaced, and the humidity drops quickly without the room feeling clammy. If you've only used window ACs, the difference is obvious within an hour. The fan sweep plus the wide vanes give you even coverage, and I rarely feel hot or cold spots. The indoor sound is low enough for sleep or a video call without background rumble. The heat mode is also legit. During a stretch of chilly mornings, the room came up to set point without the usual space heater dryness or smell. I really like the remote's I feel function. It uses a sensor in the remote to measure the temperature where I'm sitting, not just at the wall unit. That's helpful if the unit is mounted high and the room has uneven airflow. I leave the remote near the couch or desk, and the set point feels accurate to where I am, not just the general space. The app adds scheduling, away mode, and quick checks on current temperature, which helps me manage energy. I've also had good luck integrating it into a smart home setup through the Gree-based app ecosystem for automations like turning the unit on when I'm heading home. I did run into one small quirk early on. The temperature display on the indoor unit went blank after a while. The unit kept working, but the display was gone. Swapping in fresh batteries on the remote fixed it immediately. Apparently, the remote can send basic commands on weak batteries, but the display toggle needs a little more juice. It's a tiny thing, but it's good to know before you start troubleshooting the wrong component. Let me talk install, because that's where most people get nervous. A ductless mini split is considered DIY friendly by many brands, but it still requires specific tools and care. You'll drill a 3-inch-ish hole through the wall, mount the indoor bracket level and solid, route the line set, and drain with a gentle downward slope so water exits outside, and set the outdoor unit on a pad or wall brackets with some kind of vibration isolation. You need to flare and torque refrigerant lines correctly, pull a deep vacuum with a pump, and leak test before releasing refrigerant. You also need a dedicated 230-volt circuit and a weatherproof disconnect next to the outdoor unit. If any of that sounds new, it's worth hiring a pro. If you've done electrical work and refrigeration basics before, you'll be fine with patience and the right tools. There are a few practical notes I wish I had heard earlier. The box is well packed, but don't expect a complete, everything included install kit. Rubber feet for the outdoor unit, a wall sleeve, filler putty, and even a simple paper template for the indoor mounting holes are not always in the package. I measured twice and taped out the bracket location to get the hole right. I added anti-vibration pads under the condenser to keep the noise profile as low as possible. I recommend having a 5mm hex wrench on hand and a good torque wrench for the flare nuts. Skipping the vacuum step or under-torquing a flare can cause a slow refrigerant leak that will eventually kill performance. I've seen people blame the unit when it was actually an install miss. On build quality, I'm impressed. The plastics on the indoor head don't creak when the unit ramps up, the louvers don't chatter, and the filters slide out easily for cleaning. Reinstalling the reusable filters can take a gentle hand so they seat cleanly. Angle them in and don't force it. The outdoor cabinet feels robust and the fan is balanced. I keep the area around it clear of leaves and snow so it can breathe. The drain line stays sloped through the wall, and I insulated the portions exposed to avoid condensation drips. On support, I'll be honest, I've seen mixed reports. Some folks get quick help, others say responses take a while. My own questions were answered over email after a couple of days. Nothing went wrong with the hardware, so I didn't need a warranty claim, but I suggest registering the unit, keeping your receipts, and confirming whether self-install affects the 5-year warranty terms in your area. TOSOT is part of Gree, a huge HVAC manufacturer, which gave me confidence in the core tech, but local support always matters, especially if you're new to mini splits. It's perfect for a large bedroom, an open living room, a bonus room, or a workshop where you want steady temperature and quiet. If you're replacing a handful of window units, you'll instantly appreciate the comfort upgrade. If you're heating with space heaters, you'll like how even and efficient the heat pump feels. If you're building a small studio or office, the low-noise floor keeps audio clean and meetings distraction-free. I'd recommend this for advanced DIYers who already own a vacuum pump and know their way around flares and 230-volt circuits, or for anyone who can hire a qualified installer but wants high efficiency without paying a premium brand price. If you're brand new to tools or uncomfortable with electrical, bring in a pro for install and enjoy the unit's performance afterward. Either way, plan for a couple of small accessories the box doesn't include. Take your time on measurements and use the smart features to get the most out of it. In my opinion, the value is strong. The performance feels like what higher-end systems promise. Fast, even cooling, solid low-temperature heating, and very quiet operation. The Wi-Fi features are actually useful, not just a checkbox. And the I feel mode is one of those quality of life things you miss when it's not there. Energy use is light for the amount of comfort you get, which is the whole point of a high SEER2 system. The main trade-offs are installation complexity for beginners and the possibility of slower than ideal support if you hit a snag. Those aren't deal breakers for me, but they're worth factoring into your plan. In conclusion, the TOSOT 24,000 BTU mini split delivers efficient, quiet, smart heating and cooling from a proven manufacturer. If you pair it with a careful install and a few thoughtful accessories, it feels like a long-term solution that keeps bills down and comfort high. I'm happy with it, and I'd use it again in a similar space. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and drop a comment below with your questions or your experience. Thank you for watching.